A reading from Esther chapter 5. On the third day of her fast, Esther put on her royal robes and went and stood in the inner courtyard of the palace, facing the throne room. The king was inside, seated on the royal throne facing the entrance. When the king saw Queen Esther standing outside, she won his favor, and he held out to her the gold scepter. She then came up and touched the tip of it. "What is it, Queen Esther?" the king asked. "Tell me what you want, and you shall have it, even if it is half my empire." Esther replied, "If it please your majesty, I would like you and Haman to be my guests tonight at a banquet I am preparing for you." The king then ordered Haman to come quickly so that they could be Esther's guests. So the king and Haman went to Esther's banquet. Over the wine, the king asked her, "Tell me what you want, and you shall have it. I will grant your request, even if you ask for half my empire." Esther replied, "If your majesty is kind enough to grant my request, I would like you and Haman to be my guests tomorrow at another banquet that I will prepare for you. At that time, I will tell you what I want." When Haman left the banquet, he was happy and in a good mood. But then he saw Mordecai at the entrance of the palace. And when Mordecai did not rise or show any sign of respect as he passed, Haman was furious with him. But he controlled himself and went on home. Then he invited his friends to his house and asked his wife Zeresh to join them. He boasted to them about how rich he was, how many sons he had, how the king had promoted him to high office, and how much more important he was than any of the king's other officials. "What is more," Haman went on, "Queen Esther gave a banquet for no one but the king and me, and we are invited back tomorrow. But none of this means a thing to me as long as I see that Jew, Mordecai, sitting at the entrance of the palace." So his wife and all his friends suggested, "Why don't you have a gallows built, 75 feet tall? Tomorrow morning, you can ask the king to have Mordecai hanged on it, and then you can go to the banquet happy." Haman thought this was a good idea, so he had the gallows built. The word of the Lord. A reading from Esther chapter 6. That same night, the king could not get to sleep, so he had the official records of the empire brought and read to him. The part they read included the account of how Mordecai had uncovered a plot to assassinate the king, the plot made by Bigthana and Teresh, the two palace eunuchs who had guarded the king's rooms. The king asked, "How have we honored and rewarded Mordecai for this?" His servants answered, "Nothing has been done for him." "Are any of my officials in the palace?" the king asked. Now Haman had just entered the courtyard. He had come to ask the king to have Mordecai hanged on the gallows that was now ready. So the servants answered, "Haman is here waiting to see you." "Show him in," said the king. So Haman came in, and the king said to him, "There is someone I wish very much to honor. What should I do for this man?" Haman thought to himself, "Now, who could the king want to honor so much? Me, of course. So he answered the king, have royal robes brought for this man, robes that you yourself wear. Have a royal ornament put on your own horse. Then have one of your highest noblemen dress the man in these robes and lead him, mounted on the horse, through the city square. Have the noblemen announce as they go, see how the king rewards someone he wishes to honor. Then the king said to Haman, hurry and get the robes and the horse, and provide these honors for Mordecai the Jew. Do everything for him that you have suggested. You will find him sitting at the entrance of the palace. So Haman got the robes and the horse, and he put the robes on Mordecai. Mordecai got on the horse, and Haman led him through the city square, announcing to the people as they went, see how the king rewards a man he wishes to honor. Mordecai then went back to the palace entrance while Haman hurried home, covering his face in embarrassment. He told his wife and all his friends everything that had happened to him. Then she and those wise friends of his told him, you are beginning to lose power to Mordecai. He is a Jew, and you cannot overcome him. He will certainly defeat you. While they were still talking, the palace eunuchs arrived in a hurry to take Haman to Esther's banquet. The word of the Lord.